Today, we're over in the dev build for a very specific reason. You guys know I enjoy leaks, sneak peeks, Easter eggs. Well, in a video that we made here a few days ago on the channel, we ended up discussing a few hypercharges that weren't amongst the 12 that we are getting in this update. Seems to be a recurring thing now where sometimes we'll see like Brawl Talk gameplay and we'll see a character that has like an hypercharge icon that shouldn't. And sometimes those hypercharges for those brawlers aren't even released in the very next update. It's this weird dilemma. Well, it happened again this time around. However, they have been designed to a certain degree within dev build for 3 different brawlers that aren't getting hypercharges this update amongst the 12. One for Gus, Pam, and Willow. So today we're going to be investigating these 3 hypercharges to see what they're going to do. Now, first things first, I do want to throw out there that the BrawlStar's dev team have given us permission to show these, but seeing that they aren't being released in a while, they're a little bit unfinished, and what you guys see in this episode today might not be the actual final thing, but we can see a clear idea as to what they're kind of going with. Also, the hypercharges here are using Lola's hypercharge icon as somewhat of a template or like a placeholder, so those will not be the final bill. And because of that, we can't really see anything in terms of a description or what it's obviously going to look like, but we can see mechanics. So before we hop into gameplay, let's see what we can find without needing to use it on like teammates and stuff like that, seeing that we are looking at a lot of support mechanics out of these 3. So you can use Gus's hypercharge on a teammate, but obviously the way that his super functions is you can use it on himself as well. So when we activate it here, it shoots off a bunch of little things off to the side in a circular pattern, and when you land it on your teammate, it's going to do that as well. These attacks that shoot off do deal damage, looks like 400 each. I would assume that's not final, just not enough damage for like a hypercharge effect, you know? But we will further look at Gus with some gameplay trying to land it on a teammate here later on. Next up, let's get into Pam's and see what we can see in Training Cave. This one, in my personal opinion, is my favorite, or the concept of it is the most intriguing to me. So when we activate the hypercharge here, it looks like a normal healing station, right? Nothing's really changed visually. However, instead of healing, it is giving us a shield, which is quite a bit better than health, if you ask me. So let's see, it goes all the way up to, I believe, 3,000, a 3,000 regenerating shield. But now let's take damage and see. I'm guessing it's going to heal us, right? And then once we go full health, it's going to give us the shield, right? Not a bad mechanic. I really enjoy it. Yep, right there, goes into the shield. Not bad, dude. That's really hype. I wonder if it would like stack with other shields. Like, you know how Edgar has a gadget that gives him a shield? What if he's got like 3,000 off of this? Can he overstimulate the shield? Can he get more? I think this is going to be really good on Pam. I feel like Pam is a little bit underrated here in the meta. Her super turret health mythic gear is so freaking good. Being able to heal up over 1,000 HP per second, coupled with the hypercharge. Even without the hypercharge, sometimes, especially on certain maps, it feels like you just can't kill Pam. It's like an invisi-heal going off while you can still shoot, and if you put your turret in the correct placement, you can get that forever. It's crazy. So imagine going up against a 1,000 HP regenerating station, but on top of that, once your team is controlled and you're respawning in, the entire enemy team has like shields that you also have to break through. Nuts. But then obviously when it comes to Willow, we can't necessarily see much in the training cave. Just to give a demonstration, I don't think you can use it against bots. Yeah, just did 1,500 damage. Is that the typical damage it does when you just land it on something? Yeah, we're learning new things here, or at least I am. I'm sure a lot of you guys knew that. So next up, transitioning into some gameplay so we can see how fast we get our hypercharges and whatnot. I believe Pam's is actually insane, but let's start off with Willow's here, seeing that we couldn't see much in the training cave. And honestly, I tested hers out a little bit before making this video, and I didn't notice it doing much. I got a feeling this one is kind of unfinished as well, but we'll see. Honestly, it's hard to predict what a Willow hypercharge is actually going to look like, seeing that I don't know. I've never been like a huge fan of Willow's super. It's really fun for gimmicky plays and like Brawl Ball and stuff, but I feel like it doesn't result in much in most circumstances. Could be wrong about that. It's good in Showdown as well, bringing them outside into the poison and whatnot, but what would they do with a hypercharge? So let's slowly get this. We're actually dealing a lot of damage against these bots, and we are just now getting close to it. We'll get it on this Draco once we can. Okay, that should be it. Bots are notoriously hard to land things on, so I'm nervous. Okay, do we notice anything different from what I was seeing before. I didn't really notice much there. Did you guys? Very strange. Might have to chalk this one up as being just like pretty much so unfinished. But I would love to hear some theories on your guys' end as to what hers might look like. At least with the other two, we can see like conceptually what they are going to be kind of like end result wise, but nothing on Willow's, just the information that she's going to be getting one, I would assume, in the next update. Next up, getting into Pam's here, the one that I'm most excited for. It could just be me, but I feel like the hypercharges that are associated with like pets and stations are always really, really good. But testing this out before we're playing here for the video, I noticed that her hypercharge charge rate is like really, really fast. And I don't know if that's something that's like the unfinished portion of it, but we got our first super and she's already close to a half. And there's a lot of circumstances where you can play Pam as an aggro brawler. She does a lot of damage if you're able to be like right up next to someone. And if you're able to do that, you can get this hypercharge really, really fast. So we're almost there. We're going to save our super. I would assume they associate the charge rate with like how you should be playing Pam, like long range, chip damage based stuff. But let's get this cooking here. I'm going to put it behind the indestructible walls. Too bad they got a Juju on the enemy team. All right, let's go like this. Let's get the healing going. And let's cycle, baby. Give me that shield, dude. I want that shield. We are going to be unkillable now. Let's go. I don't know. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Pam. I've always really enjoyed her, whether it's like a bushy map where you play in lane with like vision gear. She's like so freaking good. I love playing aggro Pam with the gadget that loses people's ammo, with the healing station, with the star power where it deals damage. No one, and I mean it, expects you to have that star power on, or I don't know, sometimes they don't even see themselves taking damage and you can get some cheeky kills. Really enjoyed Pam, and the hypercharger I think is going to be really good for her. But then finally, let's wrap this up with Gus here. Again, we can kind of see what it's going to do, but I believe some of the values are going to be different once the hypercharge is actually released. You just can't mess around with damage that's only 400 with like a hypercharge damage, you know what I'm saying? But let's get into it. I don't know if it's just me, but I definitely don't use Gus's super a lot on like other players, like my teammates, unless it's like desperate. I feel like the risk is not worth it because you got to actually land a skill shot. Just feels so bad when you miss a super where you can normally use it on yourself, but you miss it on like a teammate. It's like missing a Byron shot and you kind of get shamed for it against the enemy team or against your teammates. They stand still, they thumbs you down or something like that. But imagine like the flame you get when you use like a Gus super and they see you miss. It's like, oh, I feel like trash. But let's try to do this. Seeing that we already kind of saw what it did in Training Cave, let's try to land this on a teammate here and see what it does before we get wrecked by this Lily. Let's pick this up. Kill her, maybe. All right, Ems, you got this, dog. All right, so she got the shield. Is the shield value a little bit higher than the normal super? Could be. I guess we could test that out. I believe I went up to 5,000. But if I remember correctly, I know Gus's shield is pretty dang decent. All right, let's test out the shield here. Yeah, it's the same. So again, it looks like it's just the damage that comes off of that, almost like another good asset of like a get off me tool, or like helping out your teammates with the pushback and the additional damage that's going to be coming with the hypercharge, right? Thankfully, seeing that this game was long, we can test this out again. So only 400 damage there. That's got to be like, I would love it if it was like 3,000 or 4,000. But there you have it, everyone. Wanted to get this out there, seeing that there's been a little bit of buzz inside the community, people talking about these, seeing that we can give out that information. I found it pretty dang important. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Which one are you most excited for? Really like Pam's. I think that's my favorite, and I'm very excited to see what Willow's is actually going to be. A skill shot super hypercharge. That's going to be a stressful mechanic, bro. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what y'all are thinking, and we'll be talking super soon. Adios and take care.